Yeah. I'll show you an episode after we're finished. I didn't think it was going to be good, but it ended up being good.
What?
Yeah.
You all ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What? he was waiting to light up that sound effect.
Everybody in the building.
All right, welcome back to the Entrepreneur to Entrepreneur Shift the Culture podcast. And we hear Gail singing in this monotone, deaf funeral voice, and she dressed in all black. What's going on today, Gail? Why you dressed in all black? You Richard Lightbone?
I'm going on my haters' funeral today.
Oh! Funny you should say that because I think we're going to talk about haters today. Oh my goodness. Whoa. Pull up selector.
So what you said you went to a hater's funeral today.
Yes.
Please describe. I want to know about this funeral.
What do you want to know about it, Greg?
I want to know the details, you know what I mean? What people wear, who died, how long it was. Tell me about it. Give me the details, man. The intimate details of this funeral.
Well, the service is held at the Church of Success.
Okay.
Oh, my heart. Oh, the Church of Success of Prophecy.
The lead song was Haters by Jay-Z and I don't know what.
Hold on, Gail. Why your mic ain't doing? 1 second. See Travis. Now, y'all.
Even a mic hating on
Now, listen.
you next.
Travis was fiddling with
You could hear me, right?
Yeah? No, you good. You reading. I reading.
I ain't do that in the Gail mic.
Gail ain't reading.
How? How I can do that? It's only one line.
Hi, guys. Get out of here. Hi, Shirley.
What it is? Gail, you can still hear Gail. Testing 1, 2,
Say
3.
something, Gail.
Something.
Again?
Something again.
Okay, hold on.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. I would like to claim right now I have nothing to do with this. But we're still good and glad, thank you for everybody who is tuned in right now as we talk about haters. Hey. No, you can't blame me for this. I will not allow you to blame me for this. But yeah, I guess kind of on the vein of haters for the people who still can hear me talk, is we just,
They can't hear Gail.
they can't hear Gail.
Gail
Sabotage.
Gail thought she gone to the hater's funeral, but
Yeah.
Gail was in the casket today.
See, last week, they didn't want me on the show.
Wow.
They took photo of me.
Wow.
Now this week,
Uh-huh.
you can't hear me.
Uh-huh.
Never happened.
Mm-mm.
Lord,
They just getting in. Facebook is currently building the audience. They're building the audience.
no? When last you.
Yeah, when last you used that, huh? What's the other day? 2 weeks ago?
Just supposed to be vlogging.
No, they ain't got nothing to do with that.
Nothing on the side have anything to do with that. I just need you to say that on camera right now. No.
Okay, look like we good. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, we good.
See? See that?
It was something Travis did.
How? How? That's the only thing you change again.
Okay, apologies, folks. Travis frig up the mic and the
Oh my
port,
goodness.
twisting knobs,
Oh my goodness.
because he got the fidgets or whatever. What you call it, where people can't keep still? Yeah, fidgety. He was turning knobs and stuff. So or maybe Travis was the hater you was talking about.
Ah, you see how that came back full circle? Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, what we talking about? We talking about haters today.
Yeah.
Haters, what? People that just for no reason don't want to see you prosper, don't want you to do well, and would do anything in their power to stop you or throw something in your way, obstacle in your way, or try to discourage you. And I think living in the Bahamas, we've experienced that all the time.
Or a combination of some of those.
Now, Travis just say off air that he don't really experience much.
Well, I mean, knock on wood, but I don't experience a lot of direct hate, mainly because I don't like to.
Say it, man.
I like to stay to myself with a lot of things or collaborate with people. I don't like to say, oh, hey, X, Y, and Z and blah, blah, blah. I don't like to talk about everything I'm working on because, first of all, a lot of things I'm working on.
That's a point right there. So
Yeah.
you gotta start that off right there.
Yeah.
Talking about what's going on with you and what plans.
No, not in the sense. Not in the sense of.
Not sharing. I mean, the point
Yeah,
is
not in the sense of sharing
it,
ideas.
Or sharing it with the right people.
Right. It's not in the sense of sharing ideas, because if I want to share an idea, I know exactly who I need to talk to share those ideas, like-minded people.
Right.
But for people who would probably have a benefit and interest outside of, for negative reasons, or to the people who you could feel that probably might want to do this or tell somebody about this or talk down on a particular idea, or even in the sense that you share something with somebody and they're all negative thoughts, like, oh, that can't work or that can't do it. I try to avoid, off the bat, before actually listening to the idea. Those are the type of people I try to avoid, because they don't even take the time to hear. They're responding to you, but they're not actually hearing what you're saying. So I try to stay away from those negative people. There's a lot of negative people who are probably put in the haters category, but outside of that,
when you have like a new idea or you trying to start a business, those initial conversations that you have with people can kind of make or break your spirit a bit.
Yeah.
Like, let's say you want to be an entrepreneur. And I know I was very insecure about the idea of doing it. I know I wanted to do it, but in terms of actually execution, sometimes it takes that little pep talk
Right.
from,
You need that.
you say somebody else. And if you share your ideas or share your goals with the wrong person, they can affect maybe whether or not you feel confident enough to take it forward. Maybe they'll tell you, it's a bad idea. And that's not even... That may
no
not be the
constructive
case.
criticism. It's just like, that won't work or it can't happen. I can remember conversations with people where I had ideas and just to shoot it out. I mean, it wasn't anything close to the chest, but like, what do you think about something like this working or something like this happening? I'd be like, it can't work. And then you'd be like, why can't it work?
When
It just
you
can't
shoot
work.
me down off the bat,
Yeah.
that conversation is over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you don't take time to say how it could work before it can work, I don't waste time talking to you.
Yeah.
Well, we spoke about those people, I think, on the first episode.
Speed bump watchers?
Yeah, we spoke about those.
Yes.
And we got a bunch of them around. And I think the funny thing is, I don't even think like they're, well, not all the time. Sometimes, or a lot of times, people are malicious. They really don't want to see you succeed. But you have those people that honestly don't believe that you could actually do what it is you're putting forward to them. They honestly, they just honestly don't believe that you could do it.
Yeah, because they...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Say it.
I was saying that's a quote I heard the other day. Pay attention to who's surprised when you do things. Because you could share your success and you have people that are like, congratulations.
Yeah.
And then there's another set of people when you share
Like,
your
wow, I
success,
can't
they're like,
believe that you actually
in
pulled that
shock.
off.
Yes.
You need to like
Yeah,
put a red
yeah,
line
yeah.
through them, because if you're in shock at my ability, you never believed in me in the first
Yeah.
place, and I don't need to believe in you.
And I think that hate is like a lot of it. Most of it is probably on a subconscious level, like stuff like that,
Not even aware.
because it's that where they don't have that data to work off of in terms of knowing what you could do. If they're your close friend and they still feel that way, then that's a shame. You need to reevaluate that situation. Or is what somebody told me one time is that people just project that they can't do it onto you. So they're really, when they say you can't do something, they're usually saying that, okay, I can't do this thing, but
So
they're...
So you definitely can't do it because I can't.
exactly.
Do it.
Or in the sense that people who have done it and failed, and they feel like that is what it is. And I had a lot of those conversations. Yeah.
What are some of the things these people do or say to try and discourage you? And could you tell, like, if they really just don't want you to succeed, or if they genuinely don't feel as though, like, they're trying to help you, they want what's best for you, and they just them honestly not believing in you? Like, what are some of the things they say, and how do you differentiate the ones that really just ain't want you to succeed from the ones that honestly just, they trying to help you and they just can't conceive this idea that you're putting forth?
I just think it's conversations. And you
There's
can
a lot of
tell,
different
you have
nuggets.
To be aware, you go into
You have to be aware of.
that this person may negatively respond to you, and be prepared to move on from that situation should that happen. So with me, I go into it cautiously. Don't give too many details. I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going to open my business March 1st." I don't give.
You don't give dates, right?
times, whatever. I'm doing this long term. Or if you say you have something happening, no detail. That's my first thing, right? And then second thing, you watch their body language and also their response. And it's really up to you. Because you get so excited, you kind of get like rose-colored shades on, right? Like, oh, I have this idea. I'm going to share it with this person. And they're going to be excited. And you're so excited talking about your idea. You're not even conscious that this person is like, what a sick dread. Like, I don't want you to go through this. Or I failed at this, so you can't do this. Or, you know, the things that we've said. You don't even realize it.
I think a lot of the unconscious things that I've heard and come across, and this is only seen in a lot of multiple instances, where you have type of people who like they have a set reminder in their mind for your things that you're doing. So like you'll tell them about an idea, and they'll be like a couple months or two goes by. You say, "Hey, how's that thing going? Like how's that thing going? Or are you still doing that thing?" But they don't add any value to you actually doing that thing. They literally just there outside of just being a friend, just to be like, "Oh, you so what?" Like they remember before you remember. Hey, you still working on that thing? Like,
you know, it's interesting. It's interesting you say that, right? Because I experienced that a lot from family, right?
Oh, of course, family. That's a whole section of this podcast.
You know, when you go to family events, right?
Shamala.
And you know they ain't trying to be malicious, but I think it's when it comes to family, they honestly don't believe that you can achieve certain things. You know what I mean? You're supposed to be in.
Everybody has generally maintained a perception.
Right, and that's the thing. Like they've never experienced it. Like they haven't had someone close to them actually do it.
They have no data. They have
so
no
they have not seen it. So it's impossible to them. So anytime we go to the family events, especially with me, like my uncle and those would come and like, you still doing that? You know, you still baking? You still baking them cookies? And
with a big smile. We're like, yeah.
That's another thing too. If they start to like, man, you know, okay, let's say like your girl be like, oh, so you talking to your little friend. You know, like it's a little condescending thing, but they still fishing. If you get that kind of vibe, like, oh, you still doing that little cookie thing which you was doing?
But what I've noticed, like lately and more, like as I guess they've seen and heard about it from other people, like other people gives it validation besides you, which is the craziest thing. But that's how it is. But I'm that kind of person, of course, because no one, like they say, fisherman ain't gonna call he fish thing, right? So I don't like self promotion either, right? When people bigging up their own things, I just ain't paying attention to it. You understand? It's when other people, you know, verify it or validate it, then I'll be like, okay, let me check this out.
Right. Say like a prophet is not celebrated in his own town. It's the same kind of concept where you doing this, and unless somebody, like Travis said, unless somebody else from the outside validates you, they're not supporting you.
Right. And I understand that completely, but it's just interesting. Just the reaction and like more and more, it's like they still in disbelief. But now what I noticed lately is now they come in and they want ideas. They want ideas now. They're like, man, listen.
Yeah. You get those calls. Hey, you can't look at this thing.
They're like, man, listen, I want to do something, man. I want, you know.
About that money.
That bub.
Well, I think they see it. They're on Facebook.
Deep in the field, lad.
No, they're on Facebook, so they didn't see it. But it's just interesting that now they come in with, and this would show me like, okay, they was genuine. This wasn't necessarily a case of haters. This just a case of them not believing that it's possible.
Right.
But we continue to perpetuate this, we continue to breed this mindset that it's impossible for you to do certain things. We have this loser mentality in this country. And that's why I think sometimes it could be difficult to differentiate the haters from the people that just genuinely don't believe that it's possible.
You definitely. That's why, especially when it comes to stuff like that, you gotta, again, you get audit your people around you, like who you spending time with, babe. Like, and you notice too. Well, two things before I get to that. But even on the vein of entrepreneurship and not even knowing what's possible, I took my nephew to watch the Lego movie, the Lego Batman movie.
Man, I watched it yet,
days
man.
ago. No, but I had a thought. But I had a thought in that movie. Next time. Next time. But I had a thought in that movie. Is like, but who was the person who came up with Lego, and how the hell did he sell that idea that I'm going to make a company about building blocks?
Let me.
And like, you could imagine that first conversation with your parents or your close friends. Like, I think I'm gonna start a company. Just blocks. They'd be like, oh, you can't. I mean, that don't make no sense. Nobody is.
On that note, right? I'll say something. I heard someone say. I can't remember who said it, but it stuck with me in my mind. He said, "How much is it?" 4 words convinced him that there's no such thing as a bad idea. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
It was a hit.
Teenage Mutant Ninja
But imagine trying to
Turtles.
sell that.
You can imagine. Hey, I got this idea. Okay, we got some turtles, right?
Right.
And they end up in this ooze, and they end up being life size. But they was
turtles, right?
they was
Turtles.
raised by a rat, and they
Turtles.
somehow they ninjas.
Yeah.
You understand? So they saved the city. It's like,
Not only are they ninjas,
Yeah.
and they like pizza.
Right.
So it's like, what you would get, people would take you to the insane asylum.
Yeah.
Yep.
But he said Dad convinced him that there's no such thing as a bad idea. Now, I think there are some bad ideas. I don't completely subscribe to no such thing as a bad idea, but I get the point.
Right.
Don't just knock something down when you first hear about it. You know what I mean? You should
Yeah.
at least entertain certain things and see how you can make it work. You understand?
there's a quote. It says, if Ford had asked what people wanted, they would have said faster.
Faster horses.
Yes,
Yep,
yes.
same
And,
thing.
and Steve Jobs is the
Exactly.
same way. People don't know what they want until you give it to them. You know what I mean?
Gary Vee talks about a time when I think it was Uber, that he was invited to invest in. When it
Yeah,
first
and he
came
just
about,
he,
and
tur-
was
he passed
like-
up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
He passed
and
up.
He keeps on talking about that. but
Mark,
like
you've been passed
say,
up on it too, on Uber too.
Yeah, you just.
But yeah, you win some, you
never
lose
know.
some. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You don't know how it's going to end up.
Yeah.
And that's it. You have to take gamble sometime because it may have been a big loss. You know what I mean? You never know. It's just that it takes you believing in something and then making that
I
investment.
tell people starting off a business, like, the first thing you need to do is not expect any of your family or any of your friends to support you.
We talked about this
Oh,
before
yeah.
too.
Right.
I don't even think on the
Support
podcast. Like,
conversation.
don't
Oh, yeah.
even think about that as the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nothing against fam. I mean, and I think hopefully entrepreneurs that listen to this or going into it understand that first going round is
No,
like
I know.
your family especially your family being so close to you where they've seen a side of you for multiple amount of years.
Right.
And then when you come with a new fresh perspective, it's like, oh, what's going on? Like, I don't like, it's weird. It's just weird.
I do.
And that's just weird by default.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I speak to, entrepreneurs or people who first start out and they're devastated.
That their family-
their family did not
Yeah.
support them. And I just
Oh, brother,
tell people before
don't
you
keep
start
your head
out,
up, babe.
like, don't.
Your family would be the
You will
last
have
step.
haters.
Yeah.
You will have people that are like, what she think she doing? Oh, I remember that. Oh gosh, what she think she doing?
Let me tell you when your family can come
She
on
don't
board.
know nothing about this. What
When
she
you're
think
done
she doing?
successful, that's when your family can come on board.
Yeah.
When you're successful.
Yeah, definitely.
Then they can want to be a part of it. I didn't see it
Well,
happen.
I mean,
No, it's-
some families.
Not every case.
Yeah, not
but
every
I
case.
think in this country,
Successful,
in
yeah.
most
I totally
cases,
agree.
I mean, in the best case scenario, yes, you want that to happen when your family finally, when you're able to share that success with your family and everybody on par. But there's but before you hop into that, no, it's cases where, like,
my
say,
hand.
especially
First
when
thing
you
is
have
raise my hand.
when you have siblings and stuff like that. I know a few of my friends who they've been hustling and they've been got a lot of different deals, and then like they full of resentment from their parents or like their brothers and stuff like that because they feel like they should have been that successful too or something like that. So even like especially being
can't
family, that's more
celebrate you.
they can't celebrate you because
Yeah.
it's too close knit. So you have situations like that too. So I mean,
Yeah.
I would be
When I was
yeah.
like, I'm gonna go do this thing and start my own business and quit my 9 to 5, and my parents was like, you need to get a job. And then, like, maybe a few months ago, my dad came to me and was like, oh, I heard this thing on the radio the other day in advertising, and I think you should do this. And I was like, I have a business.
yeah.
What's going on?
yeah. See, and I think a lot of times they think it may be a fad, but if they see
Yeah.
you stick with it,
The funny thing is, you wouldn't hear them talk about it, right?
Right.
But then let's say they're in a side conversation or a conversation with somebody else, and they're like, oh yeah, Greg, but he got his cookie business, and he
Oh yeah, they still put you up on that pedestal. Yeah.
Yeah.
But in your face,
yeah,
Yeah.
done.
yeah, that happens quite a bit.
And that's family. I think that's even a whole different episode.
Yeah.
But,
But
but you
go
have
ahead.
more like a macro level
Bring it back to the hate.
hate.
Yeah, 'cause
you have a
on.
macro level hate where like I think we talked about this in an episode too, where it's like people just say, "Oh, don't come back home. Ain't nothing to do
Oh,
here."
yeah.
It's like,
I'm one of them.
and that's been beat down
like that.
repetitively, where it's
Yeah.
like. You just shut out any opportunity to think that anything could happen.
Yes,
first and
yes,
foremost,
yes.
it's like, oh, don't come back home. That was when I was on the back end of coming back home. There's like, oh, don't come, you can try to go back, or what you planning to go back and stuff like that. That's like, God damn, and that was one of the first things to me. It's like, bae, if I can't make it in my own home country, bae,
Yeah.
See,
I
the
can't
thing
make
about-
it. Like you gotta be able to make it anywhere, but
Yes,
you gotta be
yes.
able to hack it and do whatever you're supposed to do anywhere you want to go, babe.
The good thing about you is that you had the chance to go off and experience a different thing.
Mm.
So you got the perspective that this is possible, or you got perspective that, you know what, you could do this. And sometimes that's not always the opportunity. And I feel as though if you don't put yourself in situations that will give you a more well-rounded view on things or life in general, then yes, the don't come back home attitude will prevail. But I don't know. People say don't come back here. I'm one of them. Like, sorry.
See, but that's
what it is.
And like I tell people all the time, man, if that's your attitude, right? If you like don't come back home, then how is the country going to develop? How are we going to move forward if all the talent is going away, developing themselves, making themselves better, and then contributing to another country and building another country? Because see what America did right was America took in immigrants, took in the best of the best, and allowed them to build their country up. Because a lot of America, well, damn near most of America, probably especially technology-wise, was built by foreigners. You understand? So they did the smart thing. They let the foreigners come in and build their country up to now where they have this wonderful economy.
And took them from them home.
And so they continuing to lure people in, and you all just going, well, not... Well, you say you was part of one of them, so I can say y'all. Y'all just continuing to be the soldiers that go over there. No, you say you was one that have that, you like...
Mentality?
Yeah, to go over.
With soldiers?
No, what I'm saying is, America is recruiting people like y'all who are talented from other countries to build their country for them.
Yeah.
You understand?
Sometimes they brought them on slave ships too.
Well...
We need to talk about it.
Well, yeah.
That's another episode.
But I want to define hate.
Yeah.
Because I think we have it misconstrued. A lot of people don't know what a hater is.
Hate comes in different forms. I mean, hate in general comes in different forms.
Let me say hater.
If you're not doing anything, nobody is hating on you. Don't worry about it.
Well, that too. But okay, let me bring it to this level.
Urban Dictionary.
This level, and this Bahamians famous for this.
Oh,
Bahamians feel like if you don't support my endeavor, you's a hater.
Yeah.
My Lord.
Yeah.
Especially musicians.
That is, and I'm going to say that, especially artists.
Oh, yeah.
That is not being a hater.
But you can't expect
Why?
I
don't like your song, babe. I ain't hating on you. I am a hater in a sense that I hate this song.
Right.
It has nothing to do with you or anything like that. I just don't like the song. But do we call them haters?
Haters, yeah.
But I think we have the really...
This is the definition. I'm about to read the
Go ahead.
Urban Dictionary definition, right? A hater is a person that simply cannot be happy for another person's success. So rather than be happy, they make a point of exposing a flaw in that person. Hating, the result of being a hater.
See that, Stan?
It's not exactly jealousy. The hater doesn't really want to be the person he or she hates. Rather, the hater wants to knock someone down a notch. Sometimes they're jealous too. I just feel like they are.
Yeah.
That's the definition.
Right.
Of
So
what we talking about.
Right. So if you say you do graphics or flyers,
Right.
and I don't support your business because I see some of your flyers and they look like my 3-year-old cousin doing, I am not hating on you. I just don't feel as though your work is up to par for what I want.
But you see it with that as well in terms of hate. A lot of hate or being a hater, a lot of that, especially tied into what Gail said with the definition, a lot of that is tied into the ego, which I think a lot of people can and should learn how to be more aware and suppress it. Because especially if you have a conversation between two designers and you feel like if the designer been getting all this light, obviously you could feel some type of way. Yeah. And it goes both ways. You as the person in the higher level could hate on that person because you feel like they're not as good as you. Or you have the lower person saying like, that, yeah, he's great, but he doesn't do this and X, Y, Z. Hate is a cycle on both sides. Well, and I think it's all driven by the ego.
I think that if you
insecurity.
And insecurity.
Insecurity as well, yeah. If you have somebody, let's say, okay, I was in a meeting the other day and this gentleman was talking about a lady who's in banking. And he was like, she's the best in the business. And my first thought was, I need to meet her and I need to find out what she knows. Right? As opposed to, she probably don't know nothing, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So when you have that distinction where...
You create your own data. You create your own...
like, okay, if you're a designer, I'm a designer. And I recognize that you are doing things differently or better, or you have systems in place that work better for you. My immediate goal should not be to try and tear you down.
Right.
My immediate
Well,
goal
you don't even
should
know
be
the person.
To get in a room with you,
have a conversation.
Find out exactly what you know and how I would be able to somehow implement some aspects of what you're doing to what I'm doing in order to better myself. And I think that's really the difference between hating on somebody and I don't know, whatever the opposite is.
Now, can you think of? I don't get personal now. I'm trying to think of. Some personal later, some instances where you was around somebody or you tell somebody something. Go ahead, Gail. Please tell us.
Pick me.
Please, go ahead. Please, tell us.
I had two situations. One, I had a former friend that told me that with me starting my business, I was trying to copy them.
What?
Wow.
Yeah. And
were you trying to copy?
I made a face too. If you listen, sorry. But I was trying to take bread out of their mouth.
Wow. So you guys were kind of in similar fields then?
I didn't even know. The funny thing is, I didn't even know what they was doing.
She was doing the same thing.
Really?
I didn't know. And the second thing is, like, we playing in two different arenas. We might be doing the same thing, but your clientele is not my clientele. Simply because what you're doing is not what I'm doing. For example, let's say with me and Keith, and I always go back to Keith because Keith are always supporting me in some way, and I try to do the same for her. We do similar things, but she'll send something my way and be like, hey, you should try this out. Or if I ask for help, or she'll offer her help, right? We're in the same industry. And if I see something, I'll send it straight to her and say, you know, whatever. Or she
Cool,
provides
check
a
this out.
different perspective on whatever it is that I'm doing. And I'll never have anything to say about that because, yeah, we playing in the same field, but we recognize that her clients,
It's enough for everyone.
I've never met any of her clients, and
Right.
I don't know if she's met any of mine, but we just doing our thing in two different places, and it'll work out.
Right.
The second thing is just people who see what you're doing and convince themselves that you don't know what you're doing and try to tear you down in whatever way possible, whatever tools they have. I said something very specifically. I said that I do not. Oh, I can't say that. Boy.
Why, man?
That was rough. That was rough.
Say it, man,
the
please.
filter just... Choop.
Say it, man. No, man. Throw the filter in the garbage.
I said that let me see how I can put this. I said that I'm enjoying where I am.
Right.
I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And for some reason, that might have been like challenge accepted. Like I can make you.
Yeah,
hate this.
because in their mind, because especially the more
happy.
strategic hater, if you want to put it.
Oh,
You got
It's go-
strategic haters?
yeah.
Yeah, you have
What?
strategic haters.
What the
And,
heck?
I mean, in the business where you call them
Be in the closet like hell go.
No. In the business where you call them
Make it a
competitors,
shrine
or they
for you.
become competitors.
Ah, okay.
They see your value, they know your worth,
Right.
and they try to get you on board. Like they try to say, okay, how can we work together, or how can I get you a part of my team?
My lord.
And and the thing is, okay, you have a few conversations, probably some dinner, depending on what
Yeah.
level it is. And if they realize they can't
Speaking
get
to
you,
Gail Hart.
but if they realize, no, I
That's
mean, because this
real.
happened a ton of times. I have a post
Yes.
called "How to Approach a Developer," where I talk about a few of these things. It's a bunch of ways people try to coax you and try to get you on their team. And most of those cases, if you have that conversation, you'll be like, no, I'm kind of doing my own thing, or I have this plan to do this, and I don't really fit. I don't think I'll be fitting with you. They'd be like, okay, well, I guess we're competitors now. I guess we're on. I guess, we'll go our separate ways. That's just life. I mean, especially in business, you'll have different competitors. Where it kind of sucks is when you have a competitor or you have someone who is your friend and they decide to split up that relationship because you don't want to work together or do those things. So those are situations, but that's life. I mean, that's just war. There's all's fair in love and war is what they say. And people and it all comes down to especially your different perspectives. You might have a different perspective of how you want to do your life or how you want to work and do that. Someone might have a different perspective.
Right.
Where the difficulty comes in those challenges is that they realize that you both could complement or they get value from each other. But if you go both ways, then it gets, friction because then you got conversations where, taking food out of my mouth,
Messy.
which is bullshit because I
Yes.
feel like if you're doing it the right
Everybody
way,
can eat.
the big
That's
enough
enough,
pie
yes.
is big enough for you to find your niche.
And I think that's the
thing you do.
biggest misconception that breeds a bunch of haters is that they for some
They
reason
feel like
they
it's gonna
feel
run
like
out.
it's, right, like it's
something's
limited.
gonna run out.
Scarcity.
Yeah.
Like it's
Scarcity.
only so much.
Yeah.
And they feel like you trying to take all.
Yeah.
You understand? So we have to get rid of that mentality, this limited mentality that, like I just told someone before we started, I said, man, look, you have plenty of money out here. Money all over the place.
Yes, sir.
There's enough money for everybody around here.
Yep.
You just got to go and get it. And they often, the lazy people who often have these complaints and hating on people, they're lazy. They don't want to put in the work that you put in. But they mad at the results you're getting because of that work. But they don't see that work that you're putting in.
Right.
They just want the results.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's most people. They don't want to put in no work, but they want results. But it don't work like that. And we have, like I said, we have limited, plenty money out here to make. I tell people all the time, look at if you broke in this era, that's because you won't be broke. You won't be broke because all the opportunities.
Especially you start a business or life.
Exactly.
It's a lot of opportunities, and a lot of opportunities we don't even know yet, babe.
That's what I'm saying.
There's opportunities where, I remember being in Tampa, and we was standing online for to go into a pub, right? And while we stand online, 3 mopeds came up, all with different banners in the back of each moped promoting Heineken, right? And then they just drove off. I say, but you know how much freaking scooters we have around here and no one doing that? but that's just one thing.
Right.
That's just one
But you
idea.
have to open your mind. People are closed-minded.
Yeah.
You see? They're not creative.
Well, they're traditional, and that's all they've been introduced to. So you have to commit yourself to learning more about, or even learning that there are options for you.
Yeah.
Some people don't even know that.
If we could find, because, obviously people have opportunities to go off to college. And some people didn't even have to do that, but traveled a lot and saw a lot of different things. I feel like if you could find ways to get a lot of those experiences for a lot of those opportunities, what we try to do is try to open up people to a lot of different things. I think we kind of do it on a lower level with social media just to share links and ideas. But again, it goes back to the thing is you could lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. Like, there's a lot of things out there in the air that you could grasp, but people have to be ready to approach that idea and to look at those opportunities.
Right.
Shauna Lee says people love to hate on your end product, but don't respect the process or the sacrifice.
Exactly. Exactly. And people, listen, if I ain't share your post or like your post, that's not hating.
That's one of the things.
That is not hating.
That's probably the lowest level of things in terms of why you didn't like my post or why didn't you like my comment or stuff like that. And social media is partly to blame, but it's really more on the individual. That
I don't even blame social media. That's just
validation.
That's like blaming
it's on the individual that they find their validation in those metrics. And I just say to those, do what you got to do. If you're doing your selfies or whatever that is, fine. But the moment you put your validation and stuff like this, that's only like a petri dish to breed hater, because you say like, why this person never ain't liking my dish? I guess I don't mess with them. Like, off of likes.
Let's be hot.
They get extremely sensitive.
So again, look more internally into yourself and find your own self-worth outside of these things. Because what if we didn't have Facebook? What if we didn't have these things? What would your validity be in? And a lot of people find validity in their jobs, not their careers, their jobs. And that's a big thing as well. That breeds a lot of haters where, this person in this position at this place doing better than this person because they have this car. And even on a subconscious level, what I notice, especially a lot of financial institutions or like things where people, I think I talked about this too, where people they wear jewelry to like one up each other and say David Yurman and stuff like that. It's subconscious. It's no conversation that needs to be had, but that's what you're doing. And I think that's wrong.
What else? We just got a nation of insecure people.
Yeah,
insecure people that are trying to overcompensate when it comes to at least the jewelry people that you're talking about. Hey, you might genuinely just like jewelry. That's fine. But if you feel like you have to, like you say, wear this jewelry to one up this person, this David,
you even know what's coming, right?
Yeah, that's
rocking this now,
you insecurity. And I want to encourage you. Listen, because most of y'all spending money y'all ain't got on things you don't need to impress people you don't like.
My Lord.
So, like I tell,
which again breeds haters if it goes wrong. If you're,
but let me talk to the haters right quick.
People watching your planning.
Let me help the haters. Haters, all this time y'all investing and hating on someone and bringing them down, like y'all say, you got strategic haters. They really putting plots together and taking their time.
Plotting and scheming.
They taking this serious.
My God.
Take that time and invest that in yourself. Watch your life change for the better. You ain't got to hate on nobody after that. Stop investing time and hating on other people because you ain't going to benefit. What could happen if you are successful and let's say your job, you was trying to cause somebody to lose
or you knock someone down a peg.
Right. So how does that benefit you?
Yeah. And the thing is, but it's only going to be in terms of like there'll always be some in this poem Desert Dorado, there'll always be someone greater and lesser than you. Always. Always. And to play that game and trying to one up everybody every time, that's so much energy. And I think it's another quote from someone saying that a flower doesn't compete with the flower next to it; it just blooms.
Right.
There you go.
Like, just play your game, boy. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
just do
like,
you.
Play your game, dog.
Let's do you. And like Gail said earlier, I mean, just do it, make you happy, boy. Whatever make you happy, just do it and stop worrying about people. That's our problem. We too concerned with making other people happy and trying to please everybody that we miserable as hell. The one person who ain't happy is us.
I also find that people see you in a position or doing certain things and feel and so maybe
Russell?
yeah, so maybe
was scared of
somebody, so maybe somebody saw her get that promotion. I don't know. I just say it, right? But she does something that very few people can do as a customer service manager when it comes to dealing with customers and dealing with people on the whole.
Right.
And she does it. I've seen her work, and she'll sit there. She'll calmly. She has a little calm voice, and she might be stressed out.
Yeah.
But she's not taking out on a client.
Right.
Not everybody can do that. I sat at the joy desk one day, and I was like, "Mom, no, no way." But that's just where she may be best fit for the time or whatever. I don't know, but I'm just saying, you envying somebody, I envying.
Let them go. You was doing the speed. You're still doing the speed. Them overtaking you ain't taking nothing off of you. Ain't costing nothing. So I have to constantly check myself, at times because it's so ingrained, and I don't know why we do it, but we raise each other with this insecurity. Our parents, just tell you ain't worth nothing, you can't do nothing.
That's just what it's been for years.
Yeah,
and
for
years
decades.
and
That's what it is.
Generations.
Yes. So we just, and the only way we're going to change
it's a thing. It's probably
topic.
Yeah. And I put that as just a built-in flaw, just be a flaw of being human.
Right.
That you just have to be aware enough to keep checking. You will never not solve the problem of ego.
But you got to be self-aware to check yourself.
Right.
You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't self-aware, they're in denial.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They don't notice the hypocrisy a lot of times. So you have to be self-aware in order to check yourself. So that's why I tell people, stop being a hypocrite. My goal in life is to not be a hypocrite. And I've seen so much things change ever since I've taken that task on. And my perspective has changed so much, and I see things differently now that I've come out of that, because we're so quick to just want criticize people and judge people when we're doing the same thing.
Yep.
Like we driving past the food store, people double park, so the cars can't pass properly because you all park close to the door, and we cursing them out. But then when it's free, you can go park right there. We got to stop this hypocrisy in order to move forward. Yeah. So to me, I would advise people, let that be a first step. Stop being a hypocrite. Check yourself. And then deal with this hating, because it ain't gonna benefit you. Trust me, it ain't gonna benefit you. All you're doing is bringing stress and investing time into something that's only gonna bring somebody down, and you stay at the same level, or you may even draw a level. Yeah. So stop it. Stop being a hater. Stop hating. And like I say, if I don't like your song or share your song or tell you it sound good, I just don't like your song. I ain't a hater. Your song don't sound good. Maybe you need to put some more bass or 808s in the kick.
Jeez.
Maybe you need to catch your hook.
Maybe
I don't know.
Something.
Yeah, but I don't like the song.
Oh, I mean, and on that note as well, the opposite of hating, which it could also be negative, is that stop having yes men around you.
My Lord.
That helps with the self-awareness.
Yeah.
To the people who have shitty songs.
Yeah.
Start having people around you being like, yeah,
but in life though, in everything.
But in life, not just in music, just in life.
Yes,
you gotta have people to call you on bullshit.
Yes.
You gotta have people to call you on bullshit.
Definitely, yes.
We got to do another topic on that. I just got some thoughts, but we done overtime now. But
all right,
that's a good topic to talk
Part 2
about.
coming soon.
Yes,
Stay
ma'am.
tuned.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
So thank you, folks. Thank you for listening. For everybody who's tuning in, and as always, losers make excuses, winners make adjustments. Thank you, and y'all stop being hypocrites.
Peace.
Change your life. Stop hating. Later.
It's the after show. It's the after show.
Oh yeah, it's the
Travis
after
didn't
show.
do this last week, but hey, who's watching?
I did after show.
No, you didn't.
I didn't do after show.
Okay, bye.
Oh, I didn't do after show.